Elise Reed is my next guest, and she defended her strawweight title at CFFC 91 when she beat Jillian DeCoursey via unanimous decision. Elise, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I am good, and congratulations on defending your title. Win is always important, and I got to imagine, at this stage early on in your career, an impressive win is equally as important as just getting the win. How impressed or pleased were you just with your overall performance on the night?
Well, the game plan mimicked a lot of what actually happened. The only difference was probably she was pushing back a little bit more. We thought she was gonna press a little bit more, but no. I mean, after Jasmine and having that big upset there, fighting against somebody number 8 in the world as an atom weight, brown belt in jiu-jitsu, and having the ability to get a unanimous decision was definitely good. Wish I could have finished it, but next time.
Did anything on her part, like her game plan, did it surprise you at all in the fight?
Again, I mean, we expected her to charge a little bit. Mr. Canabay, John Canabay, my coach, was saying that in previous fights she would kind of sprint forward with some exchange with some hands to get close and tie up. And I thought I was going to see that a little bit more. Instead, I was the one that was pressing, which is a little, not that I don't mind. I love moving forward and going on the inside, but not something I expected. So I had to adjust a little bit. But all in all, it worked out, I'd say probably 85% the way we expected. So.
Do you, when you're in camp and you're getting ready for a fight, do you kind of game plan specific for your opponent, or do you just kind of, do the same thing every camp and just make sure your cardio is there and you sharpen every skill set?
No, I mean, so outside of camp, that's where I'm making sure that I'm getting ready. I actually just ran this afternoon. I'm going back to the gym later this evening, so not much of a break for me in terms of after this fight. But in terms of the training camp, it's really based on the fighter's likely game plan. We'll call it a plan A, plan B. And I'm pretty much coming into camp already 90% there in terms of cardio and strength, and we kind of adjust it based on what we think the other opponent's going to do. So minor tweaks, because we're always getting ready and evolving, but no, this game, the camp is always situated around the opponent.
Now, you almost got a finish, I believe it was in the 4th round.
So close.
What would you have done differently looking back on that now?
I would have just kept hitting her a little harder. I've watched the fight now twice. The angle doesn't do it justice in terms of those strikes, because those elbows were pretty hard. But I think if I could have tried to free an arm and just kept throwing the elbows for like 5 more seconds, I think he would have called it, because I know the ref was telling her to move probably 2 or 3 times, and then she did this flinch and tied up my hand. So I was so close, but I'll get it next time.
The goal's got to be UFC down the line here, but do you feel like that extra pressure to go in and get finishes early on?
I mean, I'm going from a 1-0, 2-0, 3-0 to fighting 4-0 and a 4-2 fighter. So I'm a bit more of a harder critic on myself. So yeah, I would have loved to have a finish, but I think with Jasmine and a strong striker and myself and that reach that we had, I kind of proved that I was a really good striker and could take that range. And then in this last fight, even though it wasn't a finish, it was a girl that was really good on the ground and really good jiu-jitsu, and I still was able to prove that I can do things on the ground and be dangerous. So I think I've given a lot of footage and videotapes showing and demonstrating my ability. So I can't necessarily complain, because every performance has been really good, but I do really like finishes, so I'll get them next time. I'm working on them.
Did you get a chance to celebrate it all afterwards, or with this whole pandemic thing, or did you really not have that ability to go out and really do anything?
Well, we had dinner, and I had a few drinks with my coaches, and it was nothing crazy, but yeah, no, we did a little bit, very little.
What was the drink of choice?
Ooh, fat tire. I love myself a good fat tire.
Yeah, no, I like beer too. My problem is I like it probably a little bit too much. So I have one, and then I want to have 3 or 4, and then before I know it, I'm old. I can't wake up, like 21 anymore. I just kind of go and do my thing. So I got to limit myself. Now, 3 fights into your career, I mean, you already have a very prestigious title. Did you expect to be where you're at already?
No, I did see it. I did see a belt happening. Eventually, I got 2 as an amateur, but the Jasmine fight really just spiraled. It was, okay, so it's a pandemic. We don't have a lot of fights. Well, she's 5'7". She's coming down 2 weight classes. And it was kind of like, you know, why not, right? It was a win-win for me fighting a 4-0. And then they're like, okay, let's make it a title. I'm like, well, we're not going to say no to that. And then it was a main event. So, I mean, it spiraled out of control. But, you know, I'm all game for taking advantage of opportunities. And so that's what ended up happening. So, yeah, I think the statistics were like 85 to 15% that I was going to win. So I loved being the underdog and kind of ruining some days, ruining some people's evenings. But no, I didn't. But I'm here and I'm not going anywhere. So.
Well, let's talk about that fight with Jasmine, because I've interviewed her a couple of times. I watched every second of that fight, and it was a very close fight. If I've got to be honest, I mean, next time I talk to Jasmine, I'll say it to her too. I thought you won the fight. I thought it was very close, but I did lean towards you winning that fight. Looking back on that whole thing now, I mean, I would assume that it's been the toughest fight of your career to date against a very, very skilled opponent. You know, how did you feel the judges were going to lean when it came right down to the end?
I was honestly, I wasn't sure. I knew that I had done more of the damage. Obviously with somebody that's so tall and has so much reach, my coach and I both knew that I was probably going to get some damage. I was going to have to go inside and close that distance. But without the audience and her corners were very active and my corners normally aren't very active. So the whole time I'm hearing them kind of, cheer her on, and anytime she's striking, they're kind of like giving her a good clap. So I think I'm a big critic, and whenever I was on the ground, even though I was on the ground and she wasn't hitting me or I was able to reverse, it still wasn't necessarily where I wanted to be. So I wasn't sure. I knew it was definitely a really good fight and a close fight, and my coaches were fairly certain that I had it, but I was just as surprised. Looking back, of course, you know, being able to put it in perspective and watch it again, I can definitely see what they were looking at, where I was being able to strike and avoid strikes. But in the moment, I mean, you're going back and forth, and it's a constant struggle. And that's kind of what lends yourself to be uncertain. But no, it was a good fight. It was a great fight. Yeah.
Yeah, it was a really great fight. And, you know, again, going against someone that, you know, let's face it, she's had a lot of steam, a lot of momentum behind her, and you to give her that first loss, like, did you feel any extra, I guess, added nerves or pressure going into that fight in particular?
It was really weird, because leading up to that one, I knew that I was a big underdog. I knew that she had a lot of reach, and my coach and I, from the very beginning, from our first amateur fight, kind of have just been building this momentum and just going with the flow, so to speak. You know, I'm a really good striker, and we were testing ourselves every step of the way. So with this one, I really wasn't the Jasmine fight, I really wasn't nervous, because I saw it as a win-win, right? I put a really good show on. It's a win. I beat her. It's even better. But I wouldn't say I was nervous. It was more of just like, okay, well, let's, like, our plan. So she had a really good knees, right? She had finished people with knees. So our plan A was to obviously avoid the knee, right? Keep my head up, right? Plan B, now, I don't know if Mr. K's gonna like me saying this, but plan B was me to be in that on all four position and turn in and possibly get an illegal knee. And be like, well, that's our plan B, to grab the leg and clinch. So so there was a lot of danger and risk with that fight, but I was just excited to see what happens, you know, to throw it down there.
For sure. Do you expect to see her again down the line?
I'm not sure. I mean, I'm always ready to go. I obviously, I'm not somebody that's afraid of challenges and being put in difficult positions, but I'm not going to speak for her and where her career is going. I don't know whether she's going to stay at 115 or 125, but she knows where to find me. So we'll see. We'll see what happens.
You know, I don't know her, I guess, too well. I've interviewed her, I believe, 2 or 3 times now, and she's a sweetheart talking to her. Did you guys have a chance to talk afterwards? Did you exchange anything afterwards? Any pleasantries?
No, she was really nice in the beginning. She was really nice at weigh-ins. You know, I'm not somebody that talks smack or likes to get in people's heads. So after, I think she just left real quick. So we didn't see each other. But no, I know she's really nice, and I wish her the best.
Yeah. Well, again,
don't see each other again.
Yeah, congratulations on that win and your most recent one, defending the belt. Very, very impressive wins, the both of them there. Now, as far as just 2020 in general, I mean, we're almost at the end of it. A few more days left, and thank God it will be 2021. What has this whole year been like for you? I mean, granted, it's been great as far as your career goes in MMA, but like, tell me a little bit about outside of the cage, like the difficulties that you've had to go through.
Yeah, so I think definitely the highlight is obviously my fight career and the craziness and the evolution that has had. I own my own business, my own martial arts school, and we're in New Jersey, so there's been shutdowns, and then it reopens again, and then it's back down. So I think that has been something that I've been navigating, and I have really good instructors. So we're still having students, and we still have testings, and whether it's on Zoom or whatever else, we're adapting as needed. But outside of that, I can't complain. I mean, my family's safe. My mom's a nurse. She's been doing well. She's in the ICU, and she hasn't had any issues. And so I'm just very grateful. I look at 2020, and I can't believe what has happened in the last 12 months. But I am also very blessed and very grateful. So my school's still doing well. I'm doing well. My family's doing well. So no complaints here.
But something I really wanted to ask you, and I can edit this out if you don't want me to talk about this, but if I'm not mistaken, didn't your mom beat cancer?
Yes, she did.
Is that something you're okay talking about?
Yeah, of course, yeah. So that was actually during VMI, and VMI for me was obviously it's a really tough school if anybody knows about it, but that last year I had already gone through a lot of family situations, and she was diagnosed my senior year in college, right around Thanksgiving, believe it or not, and then had her surgery to get it removed the 23rd, so right before Christmas. So she is 6 years cancer-free. She's an amazing, wonderful person, and she's stronger than ever. So no, she's doing great, and thank you for asking. No, she's great. She's great.
No, I wanted to touch upon that. I creeped your Instagram a little bit getting ready for this interview here, and so I'll tell you a little bit about me. I lost my dad to cancer in 2018, and he was my best friend. And it just makes me think, somebody like yourself who has a loved one who's beaten cancer with this whole COVID thing going on, does it make you that much more cautious or that much more apprehensive to like follow the rules and to be as cautious as possible? Because, that could, I don't know if the probability of it coming back or whatnot, but is that something that you think about?
Yeah, I mean, my mom's a really strong individual. She's I was there with her radiation. I wasn't able to be there with chemotherapy because I was in school. But believe it or not, she is a very strong and like strong individual mentally and physically. So she, as I said, she's an ICU nurse. So she is literally right there. She's working part-time, but she's there with COVID patients since the beginning. And she is taking precautions, but if she's not worried, I'm not worried. So, I'm going to let her do her thing. And obviously, her health is the most important, but the COVID thing hasn't really impacted it too much, thank goodness, because she's still going to work. So she's fearless.
That's fantastic. Well, very happy to hear that she's cancer-free and everything is going well. That's always a great thing to hear and to see. As far as some good stuff during the pandemic, a lot of people are getting into, they're binging Netflix series or TV shows or whatever. Give me a couple suggestions. What have you watched that you like? Do you get into a certain type of genre? Like, what have you seen anything you like? I guess that's what I'm asking.
Well, so I'm watching 7 Seconds right now on Netflix, which is a really good little show there. The Office I have watched incessantly throughout this whole thing. It's kind of on repeat the whole time. But during my off time, I watch Netflix as well and binge that. But I also have this really, really weird or interesting thing is I make little miniature metal crafts. So I've had a lot of time to be able to read books and build some metal crafts and watch some Netflix shows. So 7 Seconds is what I'm on right now, and it's a pretty good one. But I'm more of like a discovery, criminal stuff, or I go straight to stupid comedy. Those are my two polars.
Well, I got a suggestion for you. It's kind of like on the criminal side of things. It's called Sneaky Pete. It's on Netflix. The lead is Oh God, I'm blanking right now. I can see his face, and I can't think of his name. But he's a really talented actor, and
Okay.
I love it. And a lot of people don't know anything about it; they haven't heard of it. So I highly suggest it if you're looking for something new. Sneaky Pete.
I haven't heard about it either. So Sneaky Pete, I'm on it. I'm on it.
Good, good. So 7-1 as an amateur, you really took your time and developed as an amateur before making the jump to pro. Just tell me, I guess, what were you good at and what weren't you good at when you first started training MMA? Is there one area where you really just have noticed like you've evolved a lot?
Well, it's funny that you asked that because my first fight was 15 seconds, and my coach was scared out of his mind because he knew more of what I didn't know than what I did, and I pretty much just went punch drunk and just punched her as fast as I can. But over the amateur career, I definitely got better at grappling and wall work. I already kind of had a natural ability in terms of understanding body mechanics and where to distribute weight. But I think what you're going to see more and more is that groundwork and that wall work in terms of building that striking and range. I'll always have. I'll always be working on that ability, but it's kind of putting in those little holes of also the ground game and the wall work. So that's what I've had to build on since the beginning.
Very good. And your pro debut was for Bellator, and you got a quick finish there. Is there a chance we're going to see you back fighting maybe at the Mohegan Sun for Bellator again soon, or are you kind of stuck in a contract with CFFC defending that belt for the time being?
Well, so I'm with CFFC. That's my home. I'm gonna hang out at the top while I'm there. But there's also been discussions even after the last fight in August about UFC and Bellator. So I'm happy wherever the challenges are. But it definitely isn't out of question that you may see me at Bellator again. And until then, I'll just be hanging here at the top.
What can we expect as far as atomweight versus strawweight? Is there a chance as your career evolves you might go back down to atomweight, or do you feel like strawweight is where you'd be here moving forward?
I mean, personally, I like to be the bigger fighter, and I know at strawweight I'll always be either smaller physically or with range or reach. Atomweight, I'm definitely 99% of the time the bigger fighter, taller. Pride, I like to be atomweight, but I think we're looking for opportunities, and right now I'm doing really well at strawweight, so I can't really complain. I'm not going to rule out that I won't go back down to atomweight, but we're just going to kind of follow the opportunities and see where we can take advantage of them.
How's that weight cut for you to get down to atomweight?
Well, it's a little bit worse than strawweight. It's a little bit more regimented for sure, but I make sure that I've been told from the PA way back when as an amateur that 10% is kind of the safe amount to cut, and so if I go to atomweight, I'll make sure that I stay within that 10%. If I'm at strawweight, I can push it a little bit, but no, it's not fun. Let's say the week of. I'm not teaching classes because the students know that I'm not in the best of moods, but I'll make the weight for sure if needed.
I have no doubt. Now, a perfect 2021 for you, what would that look like? How many times would you like to fight? Is there a chance, maybe towards the end of the year we could see you Contender Series? Like, tell me what you're hoping happens here in the new year.
Well, obviously the hope is to stay as a champion and defend that. I think we're probably thinking early spring in terms of going back, pending what CFFC wants. Obviously, I'm game and ready to go whenever, but end of 2021, we're really looking to go possibly into a bigger promotion. So CFFC is a great organization, and they have had plenty of people go to the UFC and make it their home there. So I think we're definitely thinking of moving up to one of those big promotions with the help of CFFC and their kind of fame that they already have. Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, again, thank you so much for the time. CFFC strawweight champion Elise Reed. Before I let you go, I want to give you the floor. If there's anyone you want to thank or plug to some social media, the floor is yours.
Yeah, so I'm Raising the Rufus, like raising the roof. Kickside Martial Arts is my school. I've been using Newell Strength for strength and conditioning. John Canabay, my main coach, and then Paul Carnicella is the second cornerman. So without those people and those organizations, I wouldn't be here. Obviously, family and friends. But yeah, we're on this whole journey together, and so we're all very excited to see where 2021 is going to lead us.
As you should be. Again, congrats on defending your title. I appreciate the time and look forward to talking to you again soon.
Thank you. Sounds good.